The island of Tinian in the northern Marianas was a flat, limestone scar in the middle of the turquoise Pacific. By August 1945, it had become the busiest airfield in the world. From the air, it looked like a giant aircraft carrier made of rock, crowded with hundreds of B-29 superfortresses. Inside a high-security hangar, surrounded by MPs with loaded carbines, a group of scientists stood in silence. They weren't looking at a plane. They were looking at a 10-foot-long, bulbous metal casing. It was painted a dull, industrial green. To the men who built it, it was Little Boy. To the rest of the world, it was the end of the beginning. Major Thomas Farabee, the bombardier, walked around the weapon. He was a man used to the weight of steel, but this felt different. There was a vibration in the room, an invisible tension. "Is it true?" he asked one of the physicists. "Does it really have the power of 20,000 tons of TNT?" The scientist didn't look up from his clipboard. "In theory, Major. In reality, we're about to find out if we've mastered the sun or if we've just invited it to burn us all." On the morning of August 6th, the Enola Gay taxied down the runway. The plane was heavy, carrying a secret that weighed only 9,700 pounds, but held the gravity of the entire war. As the wheels left the ground, the crew didn't talk. There was no banter, no jokes about the big pineapple. They flew for hours over the shimmering sea. When they reached Hiroshima, the city looked peaceful from 31,000 feet, a sprawling delta of bridges and houses. "Started the run," Farabee said into the intercom. At 8:15 a.m., the bomb bay doors groaned open. The plane surged upward, suddenly light, as the weapon fell. The crew scrambled to put on their heavy, lead-lined goggles. Then the world turned white. It wasn't a flash. It was a total erasure of the dark. Even with his eyes closed, Farabee saw the bones in his hands through his eyelids, illuminated by a light that shouldn't exist on Earth. A moment later, two massive shockwaves hit the plane bam-bam like a giant striking the hull with a sledgehammer. "My God," the pilot, Paul Tibbets, whispered. They looked back. Where the city had been, there was now a purple-gray mountain of boiling smoke and fire, rising higher than the plane itself. The mushroom cloud was a living thing, twisting and growing, hiding the horror below. As they flew back toward Tinian, the crew remained silent. They had done what was asked of them. They had ended the war. But as the sun began to set over the Pacific, casting long, bloody shadows across the cockpit, Farabee realized that the world they were returning to was not the one they had left that morning. The age of the bayonet and the trench was over. The age of the atom had arrived, born in a flash of light that was brighter than 1,000 suns. They were heroes, but they were also the first witnesses to a power that made all previous human history look like a candle in a hurricane. The war would be over in days. But for the men of the Enola Gay, the silence of that return flight would last the rest of their lives.